All right, guys, work is continuing on the grade control project, and we are making some unbelievable progress. Let me get you caught up to speed. All right, guys, before we get too far into this video, I want to backtrack here a little bit and kind of let you know what's transpired over the last few days here. So whenever we last left you, we had the joystick hooked up to the dozer. We were able to control the ripper up and down, got the speeds fine-tuned in so we can do basically adjustable speeds. We can do fine-tune grade, or we can really make this thing travel and jump the way it wants, which was a huge success. So basically, that proved that we could operate this ripper basically through a USB port. So from there, we needed to get the laser, the plow side of things back together. So basically we had to get that laser receiver to give that microcontroller an input to make this thing move up and down. Now, to make all that happen, Flame and Dirt had to do a tremendous amount of computer programming and code writing. And unfortunately, I am not smart enough to explain that to you guys. It is very hard to show that visually on a video, and we will hit on it a little bit here in this upcoming video. But if you guys got any questions about any of that or are curious about it, comment down below. I'm sure he'll be in the comments, or you guys can head over to his website, Flame and Dirt, and check it out. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, guys, it's like 4 days later from the first video clip we took, and you guys have missed out on a lot. You got a lot to catch up on, and I'm gonna do my best to get you caught up. I apologize I didn't take you along for every step of the way, but it's just been heads down trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this stuff's over my head, so I'm kind of along for the ride. So the last clip, you guys seen, we were taking the joystick controller and we got the dozer portion of this fine-tuned where we have a very controllable control. Does that make sense? Controllable control? I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. So the next piece of this puzzle is, now that this thing's cooperating with the inputs we're giving it basically through a USB port, is we got to get the laser on the back of this thing to gather information, find itself, and send it to the dozer, which is where this thing comes into play. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain the process that has went on over the last couple of days that ended up with the magic black box over there. So, oh boy. There's a lot involved in here. This section of the table over here is just, well, we hoped it worked, but it didn't work. This section over the table over here is things are actually starting to work. So if you guys remembered back, I think it was the beginning of this video, we were basically going through and figuring out what the code was on the pins on the back of the laser receiver. So basically what we're doing is hacking the laser receiver. We don't need what the actual laser's reading. We got what the laser is telling the LCD display, and then we're using those display signals to control what we're doing over here on this side. So basically, what should happen now that we've got this thing all said and done is we're going to do a bench test on this. And if we turn that laser on over there and move that laser up or down, this tray should move in correspondence with this. Now eventually, once this is all bolted together, that tray will move and find the laser, and when it finds the laser, it'll stop. So we're kind of going about this a little bit backwards. But with all that being said, yeah, there's a lot going on in that little black box right there. And Rainier is making the final connection for the test.
Almost.
Almost. Oh, if this thing works, it's going to be so damn cool, it's ridiculous. If this thing don't work, we may need mental help.
I totally agree with that one.
And I'm sure you guys are screaming, well, you can go buy this system. What fun is buying it? What fun is buying it whenever you can build it? We didn't go buy a plow. Why do we want to go buy a guidance system to go on it? This is, I've learned so much doing this. I know nothing about it, so it's been really cool to see it all come together. And if you guys got technical questions, we're going to have to hope Rainier's in the comments, or you guys can have to go over and check out his webpage, Flame and Dirt, and hit him up on that, because it is definitely above my skill set level. But I'm catching on slowly. I'm blabbering on because he's making the last connection, and it's really going to be heroes or zeros in about 2 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
Is that it?
This is it.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I think I just captured the wire.
What do you guys think? Is it gonna work? Do we have a chance? Do we have a chance at it working? I think we got a chance. I hope we got a chance because we got a lot of pipe to put in the ground. Hold that there for you.
It's all 700. Okay.
All right. Let me, we're still plugged in. We're actually using the cord off the back of the dozer, bringing power and 5-volt signal over. The laser is booting up. Oh, power is coming on. I don't know how well that laser shows up on that display, but he's a little...
Oh, she's going.
She's moving.
Okay. On grade.
Oh, check that out. So, can you guys see that? On grade right there, the green light's on.
And now the
It's not
laser is
moving.
high. On grade. Laser low. He's going down. On grade. Laser high. Okay, man, let's close this thing up and get it on the carry.
Oh, it's hard to explain. That seems like such a simple little concept. Laser up, laser down, laser, trolley down. That's 4 days worth of work. To say the least. I don't even know how to start describing it.
Oh my God, this has been 4 days of hell.
But it's awesome. It works. All right, let's get her all mounted up, and now we just got to get this thing to talk to that thing, right?
So now we got the laser done. We know we can control the dozer. So the last
So
step
is just getting the two
this
to...
measurement over to the dozer, up or down. That's all that's left.
Sounds so simple. We'll see you guys in 4 days. All right, guys, we got the magic box all buttoned up, and let's just sit back and look at it for a minute because it's an absolute thing of beauty. So basically, did a little bit of testing here before we put it on the dozer. The green light right there, as you guys can see, the green light. That basically means it's on grade, and instead of moving this thing up and down, such what will happen in real life, we got an adjustable laser stand over here. So basically, that thing should chase the laser. So if we go back here and crank this up or down, you guys see it moving over there? If we go fast, I can't outrun it. Go the other way. All right, so the laser kicked off as I knocked it out of level. Watch what happens when it kicks back. I'll let you crank it. I'm only show these guys up here what it does. So it is a laser chasing SOB. Look at that.
Laser died again.
Laser died.
I'll chase it up a bit so you can catch
So as soon as the laser comes back on, it'll immediately find it. There it goes. Everything seems to be working good. We don't have a whole lot of heat coming out of anything. That's our stepper motor drive right there. Got a nice little rain cap built for him out of a piece of exhaust pipe. I mean, it looks better than a prototype at this point. I think the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set this thing. I got the boot out of the ripper so that way we can get full travel of this thing right here in the shop. So we're gonna temporarily just kind of mount this thing right here on the dozer. And that way we can kind of do the same system with the laser elevation, and we can kind of chase that. So the next project is to get that thing to communicate with this thing. We got an actual box mounted up there in the cab. I think I showed you guys a little bit of that. If not, I'll show you a little bit here in a minute. The other thing that I did the other day that I did not cover is we actually installed a limit switch on the ripper up and down, and I was pretty proud of the way this turned out. I actually tack welded some nuts on here so we can screw these bolts in and out to really get it adjusted and fine-tuned. And that wire runs on up to our main box. There's our up one right there. There's our down one right there. So I guess it's time to push on to the next step.
So you're telling me we spent 4 days building a cat that chases a laser beam?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. And now now that we have a trolley that chases a laser, we got to make the dozer chase it. Yeah. That's next on the list. So I see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is getting exciting. This is getting really exciting. All right, guys, for testing purposes, mounted the adapter I made to accept our traveling trolley. Eventually, this obviously goes up here on the boot, but we want to be able to get full range here in the shop, so I just got it temporary bolted off to the side of the boot. We're going to slide that into there and then proceed. Hope everything we did works. Slide it through. Oh, that is nice. That is nice.
You're literally getting with the last fraction of an inch so you can get this thing out of your face.
Well, there it is, temporarily installed on the dozer. You guys can see the imaginary laser beam going. We are on grade right there. So what the test we're going to run now is I'm going to hop in the dozer. I'm going to raise the ripper up and down, and that guy should stay, you can't see the laser beam on my hand right there. You guys see it? That guy should stay locked on the laser beam. So basically the trolley behind it will travel. The laser indicator is locked in place. So let's see what happens. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you're turning cameraman for this one.
Okay.
Okay, so now. Perfect. There you go, that's absolutely perfect.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So it looks like we have to speed it up a little bit more to,
Yeah,
to keep
but-
up with the dozer, but other than
Honestly, we got some fine-tuned adjustment, but the main thing is that thing, it's a laser-seeking SOB.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it ends up, see the green light, guys? It is like dead nuts back on grade. Steps.
Oh, and it went to the bottom and it picked up the limit switch
and quit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it intercepted the laser again, it took off.
Yeah, so that part worked perfect.
I hope you guys can see the big picture here and how much value there is of having that thing travel over 3 feet. Otherwise, we're trying to get everything lined up in this 8-inch window right here. There is some other lasers on the market go like a 12-inch window, but we got a 36-inch window.
Yeah, and
That
then
is-
the other thing we found when we started programming, that thing is actually only 4 inches.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
big part of that red doesn't work.
So it, oh yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're gonna win this battle. All right, so now we got this system running relatively smoothly. Mr. Flaming Dirt is fine-tuning the software here. That's definitely above our pay grade. So we'll go over here and we'll mess with nuts, bolts, and screws because we know how to do that. So that black box over there on that contraption needs to communicate with this black box here, which is going to be mounted up into the cab. Now, one thing I did miss is you guys see that red board up there? Whoop, hang on. That's actually LCD display, which will give us some information about what's going on with the system and some diagnostics and some measurements and stuff. So we need to mount these two boards in here. I believe this one is the Wi-Fi board, simply because it says Wi-Fi on there. What is it? ESP2660, I believe that's what it is. I'm sure that means something to somebody out there in the world. And then this one here, so basically this chip here is going to Wi-Fi communicate with that chip over there. Once this chip here receives what information it needs, it's going to give it to this board here, which is a Megit 2560. This board, if I'm not mistaken, will have joystick inputs. It'll run our monitor, and then it'll ultimately give commands on what to go on. So we're going to get these mounted nice and neat down in here like so. We can move on to the next step. You got this nice little nifty kit here. It's got these standoffs in it, bunch of little bitty screws. Let's do it. And bam, just like that, guys, they are both securely fastened in there. Wasn't too bad, just kind of tedious, takes a little bit of time, but we got her. All right, as you guys see in the last clip, I got these PC boards mounted in here. He has got them all wired up, and we're plugged into the computer here. This is what he's doing, is programming. For the last several hours, he has been over there writing the code. I wish I had a visual way to show you guys the code that's going to make this all operate. We talked about maybe trying to print off a flow chart of what's going on, but basically what he's doing is training these microprocessors. If they see a certain input or a certain value, they're supposed to have a certain response to it. And we actually got some long cords coming out of the cab, coming down through here. This box here with the display will be mounted in the cab. I'll show you all the numbers we got on it. It's pretty cool in a second. This box here is just kind of a temporary box. We're gonna have a emergency e-stop. This button right here is actually the emergency e-stop. So this is just kind of a temporary emergency e-stop for testing purposes. So far, everything's looking like it's gonna work. It's just about time to turn the key on this jewel and see what happens. We got our laser set up over there on the drill press rig. That seems working pretty good. Obviously out in the field, the dozer is going to move, not the laser. But here in the shop, that's worked out really well to allow the laser to go up and down, so we don't have to keep starting the dozer and make it go up and down to change values and all of our stuff. So, all right, let's check a few last connections and a few things, and it's going to be go time. All right, this is the last few connections. This is where the whole system attaches to the dozer. You got the special code?
Okay, ripper pin up was green, 53.
53. Can you guys see 53 down there? Obviously this works. It'll be a little more of a permanent connection, but all right.
Ripper pin down was red, 49.
We don't have red, but we have orange.
Orange, yeah. Same.
That was 49?
49.
Okay.
Ripper pin enable, that's blue, 45.
45. We'll make sure that one's in the right ones. 49, 47.
And then you ran the other two both to ground.
Ground, yep. All right, so let me get these two grounded off, which is the back one. We should be good. I think all of our pins are plugged into the magical box. We got I even went and officially labeled our safety switch to off so we know which way is off. Do you think we need to, before we start the dozer, just do a quick little test and see if we're firing our solenoids the way we should?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so whenever he pulls the trigger on the joystick over there, we should see a light. Yep, right there. Did you guys see it light up? Do it again. That right there is what we call the initialized solenoid. So if this solenoid's not hot, basically nothing will work. And by turning that switch off right there, it kills all the power to them solenoids down there. So if this thing goes haywire, there's no wired way for it to control the dozer. So eventually that'll be the e-stop there. So if he holds that trigger down and then goes either up or down one of these solenoids, see the back one back here cycling? And then the other way, this one here is cycling. So eventually what should happen is that laser should control these things cycling, which should control grade, right? So the way we got this joystick set up is I can move the ripper up and down by holding the trigger and moving the joystick back and forth just like I would the other lever in the cab. Now, once we get this boot lowered down the hole, we say that's grade, we'll hit the button on the back side, and I'll show you guys this a little bit more later. It'll basically go into what we call auto mode. So no matter what happens, it's gonna keep that grade, that ripper at that height. Now, like I said before, out in the field, the laser is going to be stationary and the ripper is going to be trying to change height. Right here in the shop, we're going to actually change the height of the laser. Same concept, just simulating it backwards. So and there we crank the key and give this thing a go.
Oh, those are not mine.
At least we don't have anything hooked to the drive mechanism. I mean, the worst it could do is go up and down.
Well,
and we got the boot out, so it can't really go too far.
Well, we're not sure. You're the one who wired the solenoids.
The worst case scenario at this point is we blow a hydraulic hose and we both take a bath.
That's the way I look at it.
So, and I'm confident enough.
Far worse, we plow that. Well,
It won't go down far enough, so I think we're good there. So, all right, I'm stalling. This is a big moment, folks. This is a big moment. You guys ready? What do you think? Comment below. Is it gonna work?
Let me cut this off.
Yeah, good call. Comment below. Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? This is about 2 weeks worth of work right here, coming together. One test. Here we go. All right, I kind of turned the lights off. I put a white piece of paper up here. You guys see that laser? Hopefully it shows up on camera. That laser between those two black lines. That's going to be great. So basically this thing should do everything in its power to keep that laser line between those two hash marks whenever it adjusts. So whether we tell it to go up and down or the laser tells it to go up and down, if everything's working, that laser should be between those two black lines at all times. So what's our first step?
Let's push it up with the manual.
Manually. Flare goes up. And then we're right back.
Right, go the other way. You want to make it up a little faster?
Up needs to be a little bit faster, but it's going back. About a 1/4 inch off.
Well, we said within, that works within a 1/4 inch.
1/4 inch.
Because that's what our laser is set.
Yeah, well, the dang laser beam's 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah, and that laser is potentially set not to be more.
Of course, keep in mind, guys, this thing's got all the weight on it. This engages the ground. It's going to smooth out tremendously. Look at that. It went back just, I'm talking dead nuts. Yeah. So our ultimate goal is to control grade plus or minus a 1/2 inch, which is an overall inch. We're there. So now, in theory, if I crank this laser up or down, that thing should chase it. So I'm going up. Oh, I shut the laser off because I knocked it out of level. Let's see what happens when the laser comes back on. Right there. About that same 1/4 inch off again. Let's go the other way. It does it really good going down. I mean, it never gets more than a 1/4 inch out going down.
Yeah. And remember it said to do not move if within 7 millimeters, which is just over a 1/4
inch
from top. So it's intention of moving.
I can sit here and play this game all night long.
Come on, lady, kick in.
I wish I had pets that listen that good.
Okay. Let me see what I can do with grade. So I'm gonna say grade changes by 1 inch.
Okay, so these buttons here, we got them programmed. Let's say I'm plowing along and I want to jump up grade 1 inch because we're getting too deep in the ground. So basically we got these buttons programmed where I can go up or down 1 inch, correct?
Yes.
So there we are, we're 1 inch above our black line.
Yeah. And back. There she goes.
There she goes. That's amazing. I wish I had a way to explain to you guys how much voodoo magic has went into making this work. It has been so much fun kind of seeing how the whole system works. So,
Look there, Mike, if I go down with the grade and go back up,
it changes direction.
it's exactly. I think we can steal that 1/4 inch going down.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, all the playing we've been doing around with it, guys, it is right back there. And hopefully you guys that run laser grade equipment, you will appreciate having a 3-foot window to being able to receive your laser. It's going to save us so much time for setting up the laser and so much accuracy. And not only that, with this, I'm going to have a readout in the cab of what's going on. I'm getting excited. You ready to go put some tile on the ground?
If we can cut them really close to the computer, we can go play.
I just put you on a little trailer behind me. You went back here typing away.
Hey, let's get Cleveland to drive the Ranger off.
Be careful what you ask for with that one. So.
Oh yeah, video coming up.
Yeah. All right, so hopefully that makes sense, guys. We're gonna tidy up a few loose ends, probably work on getting this system reassembled, and eventually we're gonna get to the field and we're gonna do a test on that. That's gonna be the true test of getting all of our speeds adjusted and all of our rates adjusted to make sure I know. I got a digital dash in this dozer, so I can kind of know what's going to be my max plowing speed. You don't put tile in at a high rate of speed. It's a precision thing, so it's working. It is working.
What do we say? 2 weeks. Yes. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right, guys, we actually bled over into the next day in the shop. Spent a little time yesterday afternoon tweaking some stuff. So the plan is this morning, kind of getting everything tidied up, got all the cables all zip tied off so they're good and secured. Actually pulled all the programming cables out of this box and got it running on its own power supply. So that one is pretty much closed up and ready to go. Working on the cab box over here, kind of doing the same thing, getting it all self-sufficient on its own power supply and getting it ready to go up in the cab. We actually got long cables on it so we can work on it down here on the bench right now. So I'm going to do while he's doing that, we need to get this cab secured back down because I'm pretty confident that we don't need to get back underneath there again. And then the box on the dozer itself needs to be closed up. So let's impact these bolts down, get that box over there closed up, and then we're going to throw the old boot back in. All right, climbed up in the cab here real quick to kind of get this in here. I don't have this one mounted. This is our display. This is our control. Not 100% for sure where it's going to go. I hate to. We might have to take out the old comment generator over here. The fire extinguisher bracket, but we're going to kind of just maybe play around with that a little bit down the field and see how that feels, what feels natural. That looks good. I don't know if this display would be better off up there, up here, right here. I don't know. That'll be to be determined. So let's finish getting this thing together and we'll get her out of here and we'll figure that out on the fly. You guys are gonna find this hard to believe, but we're missing 1, 2, 3 screws. Fingers crossed they show up at some point, but let's get this closed up. Make sure we don't have any cables or wires. Pretty happy with the way all that has been. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's gonna fold up. Fold up, absolutely beautiful. Protected from the weather. Like it a lot. Next step is we need to get the boot in, and then we need to permanently mount the laser tracker. I think we're gonna call it the laser chaser. What do you guys think? Laser chaser? need to get it permanently mounted on the boot where it belongs instead of right there. And oh boy, we're getting close. We are so freaking close. So this is our temporary mount for testing purposes. I'm gonna go ahead and take him off. This would be a really bad time to break something. We got a cable. I think we can set him over here. All right, so before we put this boot in, we're gonna implement a design change here that's gonna be a little bit of an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we're gonna see what happens. If it don't work, it's gonna be really easy to go back the other way. So some of you guys have pointed out in the comments, and I can't completely disagree, that whenever we push on those rollers, we are point loading the boot. And for what little bit of plowing we did notice, man, it's the slightest little indention right there. I don't know if it ever developed into an issue, but we're gonna make an attempt to rectify it. So whenever this boot pulls, you gotta keep in mind it's got tension on this one or pressure on this one, and it's got pressure on that one up there. When the cylinder raises it up and down, it actually pushes against this roller and that roller. So we're gonna leave that roller, we're gonna leave that roller, we're gonna switch this roller and the bottom roller out for these. And the thought process is we'll gain surface area for pressure, and these here won't actually roll. The boot will just kind of slide by it. I don't think it's gonna be an issue with it catching. If it does, we'll kind of grind some round edges on there, but it should kind of spread that load out and protect that boot from possibly collapsing. I don't think this dozer alone has enough pressure to damage that boot, but let's face the facts. We all know at some point both dozers are going to be hooked together pulling on this thing, and that's where we could possibly get into some trouble. So let's pop this roller out. We're going to slide that one in before we put the boot in, and then obviously these two here go in after the boot's on. Here's the question. Is it gonna come out or is it gonna need some persuasion? Oh, it's close, it's trying. I could probably get it if I didn't have a hammer or a camera in my hand. All right, let's get the old you're gonna come whether you like it or not tool over here. Give her a little tappy tappy. You ready?
I think it's more grease friction than
I know.
else.
Now in theory, this distance from here to there should be the exact same as what that roller is. There it is. It looks cool in there. All right. All right, I gotta raise this ripper up so we can get that boot in. All right. It's hard to describe how big this thing is in person. So close. Come on, baby. There we go.
About 2 inches high. That should do it.
Going in. I did the same thing the other one after we put it in. We're just gonna go ahead and clean the mill scale up and make sure it's good and straight. That way we don't have any chance to catch on anything. Perfect. You guys feel that? Nice little edge on there. Nice and smooth. A little bit right there. All right. Let's put this baby in. All right. Perfect. Little hammer, and that thing's gonna be good to go. Watch out, wrench.
Should be clocked.
A little more. A little more. That is it. Just need a little tap over here.
One more tap for me.
We gotta go ahead and mess the threads up. That way the nut will lock on there good.
It won't come off that way.
So that's definitely going to distribute that pressure there. Hopefully they just don't get bound up, my only concern. Time will tell, we'll find out. Yeah, put just a little bit of pressure on it with a jack there. It should allow that boot to kind of cam over. Oh yeah, oh yes, perfect. A little bit more. Oh yeah, tighten it up against that. Good on that one up there. Go back with the roller in this one. The pins fit pretty good for all the welding and fitting we did, don't they?
Yeah, it's this pin, Mike.
A little more. Oh, it is right there. It needs to turn just
Ahead.
yeah.
You don't have a. Oh, you got right.
Look at that. Beautiful.
So I cannot put the hammer away.
No, we still need it for up top.
You and your hammer installation techniques.
Yep. Well, before we put the cylinder pins in, you think we need to take the hoist and just kind of raise it up and down and make sure it slides past our blocks?
Right, I think we're going to be good.
Oh, I was like, why did it stop? Well, we're down our cylinder up there. Seems to be working pretty good.
Yeah, but see, this is what we talked about, is when you raise at that specific point, it's completely loose.
Yeah, because once those cylinders push on it, it's going to be on this roller.
Same.
Right.
The only problem is going to be when you're in the dirt.
Right,
And there's
which
pressure.
I don't think that's actually going to be adjusted on the move. I think that's going to be a stop, adjust, and then go and move again. So, all right, let's get those cylinders up there reattached. All right, these two here are always the tricky one. Everybody always wants to know why I got the air hoist. I'd like to see somebody feather that an eighth of an inch with the electric hook. Look at that. Boom. Now, the question is, will I keep going down to get this one on?
Oh, look at that. It's pushing one
Come
up
on.
and the other one down.
Oh, that is so close. Where's my pin at? Need to be ready. Oh, that is so close. There it is. All right, everything is in, everything's hooked up. Before we go any farther, I think I'm gonna fire the dozer up. We're just gonna run this thing up and down real quick, make sure we don't have any binding issues with our new blocks in there, and then we'll get our laser chaser mounted. See what happens.
100% sliding, no binding, nothing. The closest we got when you were moving it was that little 5-degree tip, and that was it.
Yeah, and that thing is kind of designed to have a little bit of play in it, just to have some safeguards, but all right.
The only thing I can think of we got a guard for is never to get a rock in there. That's about the only thing that can still bite us. But I guess the same is true about your older design.
Yeah, the old design was the same way, and actually this may be better because you got less of a funnel to get it down in there, so I don't know, feel better with that. Should relieve some pressure on that tube a little bit there, not point load it quite as bad. So, all right, we got one last thing to mount. I guess it's time to get the old laser chaser up there. And
laser chaser up, one last cycle, and we going to the field.
all right, now the boot's installed. The next thing we need to do is permanently mount our bracket for our grade control. Set you guys over here. I think you can go down one hole if you want to. Yeah, I think we'll be good there.
Sorry, Mike, can we flip those? The belt, our drive belt. Perfect, thanks.
Nice. All right, bracket is bolted on. It looks pretty sharp. Now we gotta hope our laser chaser fits right in there. No reason to think it won't. Get him slid up in the top. He's a little ways off the ground now. Oh, I gotta do that a different way. Come down. There we go. Oh, that fit. That's definitely gonna hold him secure. Yeah. So that connection right there should be the final connection we need to make this thing fully operational. So that plug right there provides 24 volt, 12 volt, and a 5 volt reference to all of the goodies back here. So should we flip the switch and see if she comes?
In the cab.
See if she comes alive. All right. So this switch right here is our master on off for this whole system. So if we flip that, oh yes, look at that. Display comes alive. It's back there initializing. Basically it's doing a laser search. I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it's time to go put this thing in the dirt. So we're gonna run a little test on it here, guys. We got the laser set up. This is high tech tripod right here. We need to get the laser up enough. The laser beam right now is actually right above the receiver right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop in the cab, see if we can get it locked on that laser, and then basically lock it into grade. And we can try to upset that grade using the old joystick here on the dozer, and this thing should automatically go back and seek where it needs to be. So let's see what happens. So right here, if you guys look on this display, this is our inches high, our inches low, and it says all question marks right now because it don't know where the laser's at. We got to find the laser. So to find the laser, we're gonna hit these two outside buttons. It should make that thing go search for it. There it goes. And as soon as it actually finds the laser, see how that all turned to pound signs? As soon as it actually finds the laser, it'll basically give us a reading of how far it is from the bottom, and then from there we'll zero it out. So All right, here it comes. Got it, look. So we're 4.4 inches from the bottom stop, basically. So if we want to set that as grade, we should be able to zero it out with this button. So there we go. So now we are set on grade. We want to lock in, we'll lock in. So basically you see the AA there, we're auto. So no matter what we do with this thing, I'm gonna try to lower it down. Uh-oh. We're chasing the laser, but we're not running the actual controls on the dozer. Oh, hold on. E-stop. Cut our E-stop down. Good news, our safety function works. So now, let me go into auto mode here. There we go. All right, we got up function, but we don't have down function. Pretty sure we got one wire and a wrong pin in here. So we're gonna crack this jewel open, switch it around, and then hopefully we'll have it. Test and tune, baby. You guys see the problem down there? The blue wire and the green wire are in the wrong holes. They need to switch. So, gently pull that one out. Gently pull this one out. Now I'm going to need both hands to get those back in there. Gently push this one back in. There. These will eventually get permanently glued in once we are confident in what we got. But for reasons like this, oh, come on. All right, you ready? All right, let's try this again. So we're gonna zero him out. So now he thinks that's grade, so we got a reference above or below grade. We're gonna auto lock him in. We're locked in. So if I try to knock him off grade, he should find his way back. There he goes. Look at that. Took himself right back to zero. Or 0.1 tenths of an inch. Had to slow him down just a little bit, but he is a grade seeking SOB. Look at that. You can see everything right here on the display. So this over here is actually what the laser indicator is seen on the back. So grade is all lines, high and low over there. So we got a lot of good information on that small screen there. I love it. Well guys, from the best we can tell, it is 100% fully functional. I wish I had a way to describe.
Where the hell did you get 100% from? We think it works.
Let's put it this way. It's shop tested and works, and we are heading to the field to see what happens. I wish I had a way to describe what all went into this thing to make it happen. There's just, these videos are not going to do it any justice. I mean, this is, yeah, guys, I fully understand. We could have went out and bought some systems to do the same thing, but I've never seen a system quite like this on the market, and that is no fun. Building it from scratch and learning new stuff, it's just been cool. And obviously, I couldn't do it without the help of Flame & Dirt. If you guys want to go check out his website, which is Flame & Dirt, he does prototyping, computer programming, powder coating, Jeep accessories. He does a lot. I don't care if you guys don't even buy anything. Just go over there and tell him thank you for investing time in this and making this possible for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these couple build videos, guys. But that's going to be it for this one. We are backing this thing out of the shop. We are going to the field. We got close to 100,000 feet of tile to lay this year. So let's go see if this thing works. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.